welcome to another edition of Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn. I'm your host, and today we are chatting with the beautiful Loleta Dixon.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to have you.
Fantastic to be here. Thank you.
And she's such a fashionista that I just had to get it together. I had to get it together for you.
And I love it. The yellow is beautiful, popping with the blue.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I think
We
we mesh
definitely
well.
compliment.
Yeah,
Yes.
we complement each other for sure. So today we're chatting about let's chat about following your dreams. And Lolita, I feel like she has definitely decided to go full throttle after the girls, even though I'm kind of preempting everyone, after her girls have grown up and gone off to college. I mean, she still looks like she's in college herself, but she's definitely decided to go full throttle. All the things that she wanted to do, she's doing it. So I'm so it's so good to see because I think the young people call this goals. So we're gonna
Wow.
chat today about this. Tell us firstly, tell us
Hmm.
a little bit about yourself.
Wow. So that's always a question that kind of throws me.
Yeah.
But I would describe myself as an introverted extrovert or
Wow.
extroverted
Yeah.
introvert.
So is that an ambivert? That's a
Maybe.
little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I love to have fun. I love to go out. I
Mm-hmm.
am a people person, but I also need that time to decompress. I definitely need me time.
Yeah. Do you have
Yeah.
a social battery?
Meaning,
You're social, you're
mm-hmm,
out, you're happy hour, or you're at an event, or either way you're socializing, interacting
mm-hmm,
with others, and then your battery starts to deplete,
for sure.
and you're like,
Like I have a time frame that I can be
okay,
out, and then I'm like, okay,
yeah,
yeah, time for
it's
me to
time to
kind of
go,
go.
so that you can re-up.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. And it's the same with work because my career, each day, I have to be on
Yeah.
all day. I'm
Showtime.
interacting with people all day. And so for me, the evenings are for when I try to decompress.
Hmm.
Sometimes a happy hour is good for that, like on a Friday.
For sure.
I think it starts Thursday now. But
Right, because we
but
went through a whole pandemic.
correct.
Uh-huh.
But definitely I love to go out. I love to eat and wine and dine and all of that. But again, I need my time to decompress.
Yeah.
So I think today I'll be watching Bridgerton. I'll binge on that today.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you find being an ambivert that when you shut off, you shut
Mhm.
off? And so no calls, no emails, you know how to shut off, but then when you're on, it's like, okay, let's go.
I absolutely take some time that I don't take calls or emails
Hmm.
or WhatsApp messages,
Yeah.
which is tough.
Yeah, because social media, I feel,
Yeah,
forces us to be on.
we have to be open for everything
Yeah.
all the time, and
Hmm.
everybody thinks that you're accessible.
That part.
Hmm. Hmm.
That part.
So for me, particularly on a Sunday, so this is
Yeah.
interesting for me to be out
Right?
on a
Right.
Sunday, but typically Sunday is the day that I try to decompress and gather myself for the next week because I know I'm constantly working, I'm constantly going, and I have to
Hmm.
be on. I manage a lot of people,
Yeah.
and so I constantly have to be that person for them.
Ooh.
Hmm.
And then being a brand manager,
Hmm.
I want to say not just that,
Hmm.
but that's a part of your portfolio.
Correct.
I feel like you are also on for the companies that fall under or that you fall under, or you know what I mean. You have to be on for them too. So that's
Absolutely.
local and international.
Correct. So, absolutely, every day you feel because you're representing luxury,
Hmm.
you have to look the part. You have to present yourself as luxurious
Yeah.
all the time.
Hmm.
And so, it's definitely a feeling of, okay, am I living up to that standard
Yeah.
all the time?
Yeah.
But it's something I'm passionate about. I
Hmm.
love it. It's a good thing that I do. I
Hmm.
love fashion. I love anything having to do with beauty. It's a part of me, and so
Hmm.
it's easy,
Hmm.
and so I love it. And it's not a I don't want to lose my words here. Sorry,
No, it's okay.
but it's easier for me because it's something that I love.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. No, and that absolutely shows.
Hmm.
That absolutely shows.
Thank you.
So I feel also that looking at you,
Hmm.
or because you've been a part of brand campaigns in the past, I don't, do people know you have kids?
You know what? Sometimes it's hard balancing your family, private life, and what I
Mm-hmm.
do for a living.
Yes.
So once in a while, I'll post them. Some people know that I have kids, but my
Yeah.
kids are not young, so they are
Right.
grown women at this point, and so they have their own lives, and I have to be careful with how they want to be portrayed as well.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I know one time I posted a photo, take that down. Yes, she's like, I don't look good in that photo.
Wow. So you have
Yeah,
to get approval before.
I definitely have to get approval, or I block them on my what do you call it?
Insta
My
stories.
stories.
Just
Yes,
you block them to post.
correct.
I saw a post recently, and this is Insta story as well on
Mhm.
Instagram. And the mom, she's a doctor,
Okay.
and she had to travel for a conference.
Mhm.
And one of the lunches, which was a part of the conference, was
Right.
held at Disney World.
Uh-huh.
And she said she preempted the photo by saying, "I feel so bad being at Disney World and not having my kids." And the next one or two slides was a screenshot of her daughter messaging her saying, "So you're at Disneyland?"
Like busted.
And she was like, "Okay, I'm blocking my kids on Instagram. That's
Yes.
it."
I'm
Wow.
blocked.
So tell us a little bit about your girls.
Wow. So I am so proud of them.
Mm-hmm.
They are beautiful, intelligent, just caring people. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what we would definitely want for our kids.
For sure.
But they are so different. They are so different.
Night and day.
Night and day. And so I have to treat them differently.
Yeah.
Not in the respect of, but just cater to who their personalities are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, for example, the older one, Imani,
Mm-hmm.
she is definitely more outgoing, more
Mm-hmm.
sociable. In fact, when she comes into town, I have to be like, okay, we got to stop. Like,
Clay Kellner.
I'm done going. Like, let me relax. She wants to go, go, go. Jada is a little bit more introverted, more
Mm-hmm.
thoughtful, but she is like secretly a comedian. Most people don't know that, but
Really?
she's extremely funny. But
Yeah.
they're very different, so I had to parent them
I was about to
differently.
say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I have to parent
absolutely.
my two
Hmm.
differently. They're like,
Hmm.
one is a storm, one is a hurricane,
Wow.
and one is so mild mannered. She's so
So which
chill.
one is which?
You guess.
Oh yeah, I heard Riley.
Oh,
Yes.
that's another story for another day. But yeah, I always say that you're required to parent them
Hmm.
differently, because if you
Absolutely.
try to impose things on the other, then it's like,
Correct.
no, that's not me, or they
Right.
don't respond well to it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do your girls know that you're here, that you're interviewing? Did you get approval? Because,
No.
oh,
No, I'll tell them after.
I see.
Or
So
when they see it.
that's one perk of being an empty nester, right? That
Correct.
you don't need to get approval
No
from.
approvals
Yeah,
from anybody.
you just do what you want.
Yes.
Wow. So now the girls are 21 and 23.
Correct.
They're off to college, or they're either way, they've flown the coop,
Absolutely.
and it's
Yes.
just you.
Hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about, actually, what Lolita hasn't told you guys is she's a former pageant queen.
Many years ago.
But she's a former pageant queen.
Correct. Once a queen, always a queen,
I
right?
know. Oh my goodness. How did that happen?
That was a
In a
bit of
nutshell.
that. Okay, in a nutshell,
Yeah,
because that's a
yeah.
long story.
Yes.
So that was kind of a fluke. So I was in town on summer break from college,
Hmm.
working, and I was approached by the pageant organizer, and he said, "Oh, you have this look, and you're tall and slender. I think you should enter."
Hmm.
And I said, "I don't think so, because like I said, I'm somewhat introverted, so
Yeah.
that was a bit scary for me."
Yeah.
And he said, "No, I think you can do it." And now the ladies that I worked with, it was kind of a dare. They said, "We dare you to go ahead and do this." And I'm like, "Okay, let's see how it
Yeah.
goes." Like I said, that night I'm on stage and I'm thinking, okay,
You know, what's the worst that could happen?
right. And then that happened. They
I
called my name.
won. Oh my
Yes,
goodness. And
yes.
then it was a whirlwind.
Correct, correct. I had a beautiful year representing the Bahamas, got to travel to South Africa, met Nelson
Wow.
Mandela. So it was an amazing year
Yeah.
that I won't, that I wouldn't, I definitely don't regret.
And those are the kinds of stories that you absolutely want to pass on to your daughters, that you want to share with them, because Nelson Mandela was so inspiring and he had an impact just globally in Africa, but definitely internationally.
Absolutely.
Hmm. When we're back from the break, we will chat with Loleta about her dreams and all of the things that she's now doing. I can't wait to dive into this. This is the fun part. We'll be right back. Hi, my name is Tanya Lightborn. I'm a wife, mom, lifestyle influencer, marketing maven, and now your host. In 2020, at the start of the corona pandemic, I felt the need to create a sense of community and talk with women. Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn was birthed out of such an uncertain time. The idea behind this movement is to create a forum for mothers who are at the top of their game, inspirational and aspirational. Women who redefine what it means to be strong. We chat about life, parenting, entrepreneurship, business, and everything else in between. Advertise with us and become a part of the conversation with over 5,000 social followers. Let's Chat with Tanya Lightborn, created for moms by a mom. We're back with my guest, Loleta Dixon, and we're chatting about following your dreams. So, one of the questions on my list of questions is, what is something that you've always wanted to do but didn't, and why? That does not apply to Lolita because she's doing all the things, at least, according to social media. She's doing all the things. So tell us a little bit about your hobbies and or interests and how they've morphed into all the things that you've ever wanted to do
Okay.
now that your girls are grown and have flown the coop.
Wow. So definitely one of the things that I love to do is traveling.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I have an opportunity to do that with my career path that I've chosen. So
Amazing.
every so often, I get to whisk off to New York and do the shopping for the brand that I represent now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's fantastic. I always like to take in new restaurants. Again, I love to eat. So
Yes,
being a
a
foodie,
foodie.
that's fabulous. um, but more recently, I have, taken a dive into singing. I've always loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but again, being a little bit, dealing with a little bit of anxiety and
Yeah.
showing that part of you and exposing something that you're not sure if people are going to accept it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think I sound good, but
Yeah. No,
I didn't
she
know if
sounds fabulous. She's being modest.
I just didn't know if everybody else would hear what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And then I'm also kind of a perfectionist, so I know that your voice is an instrument. And so I wanted to take lessons and really kind of do the best that I could with it. And
Yeah.
so that's what I did. I started taking lessons. And so now I'm just trying to see where that's going to take me.
So most people during the pandemic, started a business, they relaxed. I don't know, they took something that they were passionate about, maybe from a work perspective, and kind of honed in on it and knocked it out of the ballpark. Lolita did voice training. And is it voice training or voice lessons?
Vocal lessons.
Vocal
Yes.
lessons. And on the tail end of that, she's now a singer. I think that's so amazing.
I do too. I surprised myself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nerve wracking.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did, I decided to just, I was taking those lessons for that amount of time, and my
Yeah.
vocal coach, she said, "Okay, I'm gonna need you to do something with this.
Yes.
You can't just sing to me." And so she kind of pushed me outside of my comfort zone
Yeah.
and that box that I put myself in,
And off the cliff. She
Yeah,
pushed you off the
pretty
cliff.
much. She's like,
Yeah.
you're gonna do this, and every
Hmm.
time I would try to back out of it with a date, no, 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 we're gonna come back to this. Have you done this, this, and this?
Yeah.
Are you set to go? And it was to the point where I couldn't back out of it anymore. I didn't. She said,
Wow.
send the invites,
Yeah.
so I did, and I just had people that I knew um, were it would be a safe space.
Yes. Yes.
So that was an amazing time for me. And what was even more amazing about it, the look on my kids' face.
Oh. So both girls were home
I made sure they were
for your
home.
debut. Did
Absolutely.
you
I
did
wouldn't
you
have it
tell
any
them
other
ahead of
way.
time?
I did. I didn't
Okay.
tell anybody else who was coming.
Okay.
They didn't know what they were coming
They just
to.
thought it was gonna be an
People
intimate
thought I was
evening.
getting engaged
Oh
and
my goodness.
married, and they had no idea what was happening.
Right.
Yeah,
And then you sang for them.
I did. At a mini concert.
Wow. Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, it was fun. But
Yeah.
again, I saw some of the pictures after, and my girls were looking up like they were really proud of me.
Oh.
So that made me happy.
And that's what you want, right?
Absolutely,
Ultimately, because you could
absolutely.
do tons of stuff. You could,
Hmm.
your career could take off. You could do all these things, but at the end of the day, like every woman or a parent, but by extension, every woman just wants their kids to look at them and be
Right.
proud of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to
Oh
see
my
that they
goodness.
can, pursue their dreams and their passions and do what they want to do.
Yeah.
Because ultimately, as a parent, you want your children to be happy,
Yeah.
whatever that looks like for them.
Yeah. And similarly, they want you to be happy as well,
Correct.
because they would have left,
Hmm.
and you've been so used to parenting them for X amount of years, and they may not show it, but I think that in their head they're like, is mommy okay?
Are
What
they
is she
good?
gonna do now that we've
Absolutely,
left? Is she
absolutely.
bored? Is she worrying about me?
Hmm.
But has she moved on with her life?
Right.
Isn't, because you would call some parents, not calling any names, but you'd call some parents, and the phone would just ring,
Uh-huh.
and they message you and say, we're gonna call you back. Like, what? I could need you to
Would
be
that be
home.
yours?
Where are you? Anyway, I digress.
That's a different story.
So you have been a part of several national brand campaigns, I feel, and obviously nationally produced, but I mean, we have no borders now. The world is such an
Correct.
open place,
Right.
and I feel like the campaigns that you've been a part of have had such reach. Can you speak a little bit about that?
So the campaigns that I've been a part of,
Mm-hmm.
one thing I must say, I think they've been so excellently produced. I
Mm-hmm.
think we have so much talent here,
Yeah.
and I was just excited to be tapped to just be a part of it. So that was
Yeah.
exciting for me
Right.
in my second stage of
Right.
life.
I
So I was really
know.
surprised when I got the call
Yeah.
for several of these campaigns. We would love you to be a part of it. So I enjoy that aspect of as well. Modeling is fun. I
Mm-hmm.
just love being a part of the creative process. Sometimes I'm a little bit jealous of creatives
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like, oh, I wish I
I
could do
would.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But just to be a part of it helps to
Mm-hmm.
tap into my creativity as well.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And then you can lend something to it, because
Absolutely.
if something speaks, like if you tweak it a
Hmm.
little to speak more to you, it
Correct.
comes off more authentic, more
And
organic.
yeah, and that's the expectation when I come on set. The expectation is, okay, what are you going to do to bring this to life?
Yeah,
And so that's fun for me too.
yeah. What was it like being called, like each time? What was it like being called?
I'm always surprised.
Yeah, like
Like,
me?
really again? So
Wow.
yeah, but I love it, and I think it's important for women of a certain age to know that they are still relevant. I
Yeah,
think it's important to have that face, that okay, you can still be seen.
yeah. And after kids,
For
because
sure.
we give so much, and then after
Absolutely.
they've gone, they gone.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like you're gonna
And
just.
so along the way, I think that's why it's so important to focus on what you love as well, and to be
Hmm.
happy, because when they're gone, you still have to think about, okay, so what am I going to do now? And you don't want to be in a space where you haven't even thought about what makes you happy. So
Correct.
along the way, you need to be doing the things that make you happy. And kids, like you said, they love to see that you're happy and
Hmm.
content.
Yeah,
Hmm.
agreed. What tips, if any, maybe 3 points,
Hmm.
would you give to women who are either on the tail end of, or I guess midway?
Hmm.
So their kids are growing, they're probably teenagers now, early teens, and or the parents or moms whose kids have now left, and whether it's for college or they moved abroad or it's
Hmm.
just they've left the home. What tips would you give them for finding, like, do we call this finding yourself, or what it is that you love to do? Because nobody teaches us that, right? It's
Right,
like,
right.
oh, get married, have kids.
Hmm.
Nobody tells you what happens after that
Exactly.
or how to make yourself happy.
Right.
I feel like we are now in a space, a safe space
Hmm.
where we can say to the next woman, oh, what do you love to do for fun? Oh, you should hone in on
Right.
that.
Well, I think that's just it. I think
Hmm.
along the way, you have to make time for what your passions are, what you love, what makes you tick. And that's better for you're a better partner, you're a better parent,
Yeah,
and your kids feed off of your energy as well. If they see that you are not happy and you're not content with where your life is going, that
yeah.
affects them as well.
Hmm.
So you want to give them the space to become the people that they are going to be and
Yeah,
nurture who they are,
yeah.
but at the same time, kind of think about what it is that makes you happy and makes you tick.
When we're back from the break, we're going to talk about a few things that we may or may not know about Miss Dixon. We'll be right back.
More.
Showman E Bistro. Good vibes, great times, sexy cocktails, multicultural cuisine, comfort food, first class service. It's the Showman Experience. Live music weekly. Enjoy incredible food with amazing smiles. Showman E Bistro, where everyone is a star.
We're back, guys, with a juicy conversation. We're talking about one surprising fact that no one may know about Lolita.
Hmm.
And go.
Oh gosh. Okay. Besides that I sing.
Yes, yes.
Besides that, I love to cook. I
Really?
do. I do. So
Mm-hmm.
mm, I'm always watching the Food Network,
Yes.
and I
Good.
try to recreate what I see on there. So I love to cook.
Okay.
Yes.
I love it. I was about to say that it coincides with your foodie tendencies.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So.
So I'm sure you're inspired by a lot of the meals that you get to
Hmm.
order when you travel. And
Hmm.
so it's like, I can make that.
I try to. I try
Yeah.
to. But
Any luck?
I think so. I think I do a good job.
It's edible.
It's just trying not to eat everything. Yes,
Ah,
yes.
gotcha.
You know,
Gotcha.
at a
Yeah.
certain age, you gotta try to maintain.
Yeah, we
So,
don't want to talk about metabolism.
no.
No. But no, you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Fabulous job.
Thank you.
Fabulous. What advice would you give your younger self?
Ooh. Well,
Should we attach an age? In your 30s.
I would say don't take yourself so seriously. Don't take life so seriously.
I like that.
Yeah,
And
and
what does that
just
mean in terms of attaching
mhm.
dates to certain things?
I think that pursuit of perfection
Hmm.
and the expectation of always being on,
Yeah,
I think sometimes just being your authentic self and not trying to be perfect in every situation
yeah,
and just enjoy life. It's just really not that serious if
right.
you think about it.
No, I
It really
totally
is.
agree.
Yeah.
How does that play out though in a
Hmm.
in a social media age? Because that's where we're at, right? So your daughters are. So let's say you give this piece of advice to your
Hmm.
daughters.
Hmm.
They're in a social media environment and they're seeing Nicole with all the fabulous clothing,
Hmm.
and they're seeing her traveling, and they're seeing her at the spa. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Hmm.
How do you advise your girls?
So, at this point, I think they are so aware
Mm-hmm.
that a lot of it is created for social media,
Yeah, it's
and
just a
that is
highlight
not
reel.
reality.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you have to create your own, and what you see out there, a lot of it, all of the glossy and glitzy glamour stuff,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it's not real.
Yeah.
And so they are definitely self-aware, and they know that, not all of it is authentic, and so they have to live for themselves and do what makes them feel good, and they're happy and they're content, and not to try to pursue all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All of what they see.
correct.
That could possibly just be,
An illusion.
yeah,
Hmm.
or what I want you to see, which is
Right,
what social
right.
media is, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Because me standing up while Riley's crying, pulling out a phone is, I mean, it could happen,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm also probably focusing on the fact that, okay, how can I, make her feel better? That's the goal.
Sure.
But I want you to see this. So it's almost like a toss up with, okay, I follow Tanya, so is she being authentic with this? And I have to know the
Correct.
difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of, most of that is curated. It's
Mm-hmm.
what we want
Oh, for
people to
sure.
see,
Yeah.
the good side of our life. I
Mm-hmm.
do it all the time,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But
Loleta's in New York again. I need to go to New York.
right? I know. I'll be there in
Not
May.
knowing it's see, not knowing it's work.
But this is you know what, May will be the first time I traveled back for 2 years. Yes, we've
Wow.
not had market in person, so everything has been virtual. So I've had to
Ah.
buy online, and that's
Yeah.
a bit tough because we don't get to feel
And
and
see and
see, and
touch. Yeah.
exactly. So that was
Wow.
challenging. Yeah.
So piggybacking off that conversation or the part of the conversation about your girls and
Hmm.
social media, how do you instill or how have you instilled self-confidence in your girls? Because we know that, imposter syndrome is a thing. Not that
Hmm.
it's not a thing for men,
Right.
but it's mainly girls are affected by it. How do you instill self-confidence in your, or how have you instilled self-confidence in your girls?
I think for I think for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
just showing them, embodying it myself.
Mm-hmm.
Showing them that
Yes.
I am confident
Mm-hmm.
in what I do, and sometimes stepping outside of that comfort zone, being fearful,
Mm-hmm.
scared, but still
Mm-hmm.
doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and then also they've both been involved in different activities.
Okay.
So one was a dancer. She still
Mm.
loves to dance. She did, formal training. And then I have Jada, who plays basketball, the more introverted one. But when she gets on the court,
Really?
she's a beast. So
Let's
yeah.
go.
So,
Wow.
just embrace who you are,
Mm-hmm.
and just be confident in that. And
Yeah. It
yeah.
just, I feel like it just takes a minute to find
Mm-hmm.
out who you
Mm-hmm.
are. But once you do, you know, it's like the
Yeah.
sky's the
I
limit.
think once you stop worrying about what everybody thinks,
And what everybody else is doing.
correct, just focus on what it is that makes you happy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. Agreed. What has parenting taught you?
That I can't micromanage everything.
You can't control everything.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Particularly as they get older, and I know they have to make decisions for themselves, and a lot of just some of the decisions I may not agree with, but I
Mm-hmm.
understand their perspective,
Right.
and I trust that I did a good job with them,
Okay.
and so I trust their judgment,
Mm-hmm.
and
Wink,
so
wink.
I'm learning acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. And it
Hmm.
must be that much harder now that they're abroad
Hmm.
because they're making their decisions and it's
Sure.
like some things they tell you, some things they don't.
Correct.
Some things you find out on the back end like,
Uh-huh.
you didn't tell me that.
Like the really social one. I know if I call her on a Saturday and she doesn't pick up at 9 or 10, she went out the night before. So she's sleeping
Yeah.
till 12. So I'm like,
Right.
okay, how late were you out? But, they're adults.
Yeah.
So I have to kind of let that go.
And how hard or how easy has that been letting go for both girls? They sorry, let me backtrack. So
Hmm.
they left home
Hmm.
at what age?
18, both of them at 18. Both of them went
Okay.
off to school at 18.
Okay, and they're 2 years apart.
They are 2 years apart.
Okay.
Right. So,
Wow.
Yeah. What was that question again? I lost.
How don't worry, I lost my train of thought too. But how hard or how easy has it been to let go?
I think as a parent, I deliberately at different stages kind of pulled away. I
Mm-hmm.
think as they earned more, as I saw that they were becoming more independent, I think they
Yeah.
earned certain, what's the word I want to use? I kind of let certain boundaries go
Okay.
because I can see they were maturing and they have to make their own decisions,
Mm-hmm.
and so it became easier. So it wasn't this big one, just one transition for me. So
Yeah.
it was in stages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. I think that's a great point for moms who
Mhm.
are in that transition.
Mhm.
Their kids are getting either they've gone and you're still trying to, master that,
Mhm.
and or they are, you have a child that's about to go off
Mhm.
because now, I mean, now that we have a little bit of a lull where this whole pandemic is
Right.
concerned, now parents might be might be in a position where they let their kids go because now things have opened up, and so it's
Mhm.
like, okay, you were delayed for 2 years, now it's time to let you go. Oh gosh, how am I going to do this?
Right.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I feel like this is a perfect note to end on, because at this point, now that you're transitioning, there's a transition for both parent and child.
Yeah.
This is the perfect time for you to follow your dreams. Like, this
Absolutely.
is what I want to do. I want to
Absolutely.
sing, I want to travel, I want to do more shopping.
Mhm.
I want to just anything.
Yeah, I think people just need to realize that there's happiness in every stage of your life. You just have to find it. And as a parent, that's a different stage, and you're giving a lot of yourself to them.
Hmm.
But also just know that that transition comes where you will have your own space.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's challenging. Like for example, when they come here,
Hmm.
I try to make the most of it because I know I'm not going to see them
For a
for
while.
for a while and
Yeah.
as long a period. So I try to make it count definitely when they're here.
That's it. I think that's what it's about, making it count. Amazing. This has been excellent. I'm
Great.
so happy that we had this chance to sit down and chat. Thank you for being my
Well,
guest.
thank you for having me. It's been amazing.
Awesome. Stay tuned, guys, for another episode of Let's Chat. This has been amazing with my guest, Loleta Dixon. We'll see you next time.